What has been the hardest thing? Let's say either from 2021 or as you think about 2022, what is the thing really kind of sitting with you?
I would think it's a couple of things. This work around disrupting inequities, and we've been talking a lot about the moment that we've been in from 20 to 21 and how there was energy in our community to do this work that maybe hasn't historically existed and make the kind of progress that this time maybe allows us to do.
So I think it's interesting and, affirming that you are thinking about that like a central part of how you're viewing 2022, because I am too, but I think I'm thinking about it a little differently. So I took time in 2021, which I was really grateful for the opportunity to do, to just pause and reflect for a moment. And what I realized was, when COVID hit, George Floyd was murdered, it felt like the ground opened up and there was this openness to challenge our beliefs, to do different things, to behave boldly, to align our intent with our impact more intentionally. And to your point, it felt like a moment to seize. And so, we were full steam ahead and being responsive. On a personal level, I have seen moments like this in our community, particularly where racial equity is concerned, and they're very brief. And what I realized was that the demand for me to show up and talk about those things was not going away. That wasn't sustainable. And the will to behave boldly had dissipated. So it was like people still wanted to talk about it, but they didn't want to behave in the same way. And the energy that it took to move work, particularly outside of the organization, it was more than I realized because I was just in the moment. And so the aha for me in my sabbatical was that there wasn't the will broadly to do things like that. We had settled back into our muscle memory. And that required me to be more thoughtful about how I spent my time, what I signed the team up for. There's still a part of me that is really, really mindful of us not falling back into muscle memory and wanting to maintain a healthy balance so that the team is able to operate at a sustainable pace and that they have surge capacity for when the next, catastrophe hits our community.
I appreciate you saying that because you are far more thoughtful, far more deliberate. I think that dynamic that exists in the way you approach it and the way I approach this work provides a good balance. Another thing that weighs on me about this work is we are trying to shift the model of this organization. And I think we've done a good job about shifting the model of an organization that primarily used to be around workplace campaigns and multi-year grant making to an organization that is far more broad in terms of the work that we do, how we do that work, and the impact that we have and the people we reach. But we still have more work to do there, not the least of which is bringing our various stakeholders along with us to both participate in that change. That's one of the things that kind of weighs on me is how do we continue to transform this organization? How do we continue to bring our stakeholders along with us in that transformation, where we're ready to start bringing people together again in a more significant way?
I am so inspired by light bulbs going off, either with a member of the team, with a community member, in coalitions. When I can see or hear or feel that shift, that is so incredibly fulfilling. That is actually what keeps me going.
to see the people who are committed to change and committed to moving us all along as we work to disrupt inequities. I'm inspired and I'm hopeful by the people who are doing this work and the commitment that they have. I see change and I see hope.